After studying this module, you would know about the effects of increasing uncertainty on a competitive firm's supply and factor demand. You would know about whether inputs and output prices are observed or after output prices. You would understand how demand of factors depend on the different risk attitudes. In this module, we shall discuss about factor demand under conditions of price uncertainty. One of the most important questions that has been investigated by many are the factors that determine demand and supply, and decisions made after output prices are finalized or whether they are made before that. What are the impacts of price uncertainty on factor demand? With the increase in competition, business firms are losing out their product pricing power to increase total profits. As a result, their product demand conditions are more uncertain, making product prices highly unpredictable. In order to minimize production cost and to enhance competitiveness, firms need to allocate and utilize inputs in the production process. The topic is also interesting and merits an in-depth theoretical analysis because firms now face more uncertainty because of 3 or 4 factors. Number 1, the rising product price competitiveness. Second, unexpected input supply disruptions. Third, higher competition in input procurement and pricing. And fourthly, the uncertain technological progress and unpredictably altered market dynamics. Finally, the fragmentation in the production process, for instance, due to the outsourcing, networking, and so on. Firms need to pay closer attention to efficient input allocations and utilizations thereof to reduce both variable and fixed costs because of these factors. In short, to be competitive, firms have to be cost efficient in uncertain market environments. Recently, this question has become more and more important, and it is being explored under the assumption that all decisions are made before the price is observed. So therefore, we are talking about an ex ante framework where prices have not yet been determined. Agner Sandmo in his studies finds that risk averse competitive firms with a known consumption function will produce lesser output if the price is random than it would if the process were known with certainty to equal its mean. Batra, Amanullah and Richard Hartman find that the firm would choose its inputs to minimize cost of production, whatever the level of output that is chosen. The result of most of the studies is that the presence of uncertainty reduces the level of output and implies that the effect of uncertainty on factor demand depends on what effect the decreased output level has due to uncertainty on the minimum cost levels of inputs. The presence of uncertainty reduces demand of factors except in the case of inferior inputs. Now, when we are discussing risk and uncertainty, let us discuss the basic assumptions of the model. Let us now what these assumptions are. 1. We consider two variable inputs, capital and labor, and one output which is denoted as Q, capital is denoted as K, labor is denoted as L. There are no fixed costs. The firm is a price taker in the probabilistic sense for its output price P. The subjective probability distribution of small p is f of p. The probability distribution function is f of p and the mean is small p. The prices of the inputs are W, the wage rate for labor, and R, the rental price of capital for capital, are the given parameters with certainty to the firm. The following assumptions are about the production function. Q, the level of output, is a function of L and K, labor and capital. As we have said, Q is a measure of output, but there are some more additional conditions. The marginal products have to be positive. F1, which is the function of K and L, has to be positive, and so on. F2 also, which is a function of K and L, has to be positive. And then F11 of KL, that is the second derivative, has to be of the first input, has to be negative, and similarly F22, which is the second derivative for the second input, also has to be negative. So this condition yields that F11 KL, F22 KL minus F squared 12 KL is positive. So assumptions E and F imply that the production function is strictly concave. Concavity of the production function also implies convexity of the isoquant. These are the usual assumptions of the production theory of the behavior of a producer where two inputs, capital, labor, are used. The production function is well behaved, it is regular. So according to these assumptions, here capital is considered as a quasi-fixed factor, which implies that capital input must be chosen before the output price is observed, but labor input is chosen not until after the price is observed. Now let us reconsider the basic production model. Suppose labor is chosen after the capital has been determined and output price has been observed. It is clear that labor will be chosen in order to maximize short run profit. The profit function is given as pi is equal to P into f of KL, which is Q, therefore it is equal to P into Q minus W, which is the wage rate, into L, which is the labor employed. This is equation number 1. By the first order condition for optimization, this translates as P of F2KL minus W is equal to 0. This is the second equation. Now, this could be solved for the optimal labor input. L star is equal to L star bracket K, P and W. This is the optimization, and this is equation number 3. Substituting L star into 1 gives the short run profit function. Therefore, the new function reads as G bracket K, P and W, okay, is equal to P of F bracket K L star bracket KPW whole bracket closed minus W L star bracket KPW bracket closed. This is equation 4, and giving the maximal short run profit as a function of capital, output, price and labor price. We now consider the envelope theorem. The derivative of G KPW in brackets with respect to P is the short run supply function, which is denoted as Q star. Now, if we measure the derivative with respect to P, then del G upon del P of KPW, KP and W is equal to F bracket K L star KPW bracket closed is equal to Q star KPW. Similarly, the derivative of G KPW with respect to K would be G del G upon del P KPW is equal to P F1 bracket KL star KPW bracket closed. Moreover, differentiating equation number 2 mentioned above with respect to K and P gives the following derivative, that is del L star upon K star del K star KPW is equal to minus F1 2 divided by F2, and del L star and by del P KPW is equal to minus F2 divided by P F22 22. Long run profits, if the firm employs its labor optimally in the short run, are given as pi KPWC is equal to P F bracket KL star minus WL star minus CK is equal to G within bracket KPW minus CK. At the time the capital input is chosen, profit pi is clearly a random function since P is then a subjective random variable. Next we shall be discussing about the risk neutral firm. Now, if we assume that capital input has been chosen by a firm to maximize its expected long run profit, which is given as EV G KPW minus CK, this is equation 5. The first order condition for optimal capital input is EV del G upon del K KPW is equal to a constant C, and this is equation 6. The second order condition is satisfied since F is strictly concave. EV del squared G by del K squared, which is the second derivative, is equal to E square bracket P F11 plus P F12 into del L star upon del K, brackets closed. The optimal capital input is shown graphically in the following figure. On the y-axis we have dollar measure of capital, and on the x-axis we have capital. The line is downward sloping and it shows that for a given value C, we can now observe that there is a value K which is K star. It is clear that for any given price of output, a larger capital input will decrease or increase the demand for labor depending on the sign of F12, which does not have a determinate sign as per our production function. Thus, for any given price, the exposed realized price, the greater uncertainty in the distribution of P ex ante may increase or decrease the demand for labor depending on whether the increased uncertainty increases or decreases the capital input and also the sign of F12. Clearly, an increase in the input price uncertainty will increase the expected value of the profit function. The optimal level of capital K star is determined such that the price of capital R is equal to the expected marginal product of capital. Now, let us look at the risk averse firm. According to economic theory of uncertainty, a risk averse firm will maximize expected utility instead of expected profits. Thus, a risk averse firm will determine optimal capital input by maximize the expected utility function. EU of pi is equal to EU square bracket GKPW minus CK bracket closed, where U is a strict concave von Neumann-Morgenstern utility function such that U prime pi is positive and U double prime pi, the second derivative, is negative. The optimal capital is less or greater than that of the risk neutral firm if the two inputs are complements or, as may be the case, substitutes at the optimum. The opposite holds good for a risk loving firm. Now let us summarize what we have learnt in this module. A simple one output and two input model has been used to examine the effects of a variable input price uncertainty on the capital input for a risk neutral and risk averse firm. Capital input is considered a quasi fixed input. The variable input is chosen after the capital input has been determined and after the input price has been observed. For a risk neutral firm, optimal capital is determined by equating the marginal value product with its price of the capital. For a risk averse firm, the optimal capital is less than the risk neutral firm if the two inputs are complements at the optimal level. The opposite holds for a risk loving firm if the inputs are independent and the optimal capital use of both the risk averse and the risk loving firm are exactly equal to that of the risk neutral firm.